Winning Blueprint presents. It's the Redskins Report. So it's everything Redskins and anything of the sort. That's right, there's nothing here to hide. Skins colors are so bold, man, I wear 'em with pride. So get this Skins Report. Recap of Sunday's game and anything of the sort. Whether it's losses or wins, it's all skins. Come get it. I'm holding down the fort. You know why? 'Cause it's the Redskins Report. Man, can't nobody tell me that, man. I've been watching Redskins football since I was 3. Where were you at on January 12th, 1991? I know where I was at. I was in my room crying because the Redskins just lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. That's real. I'm serious. That's real. Man, just tune into the show, man. Just tune in. The Redskins Report.
Ah, yes. The smell, the sweet, sweet smell of victory. It's priceless. You know, Robert Griffin III having a perfect passer rating, that's great. You know, D'Angelo Hall getting an interception, that's nice. But the Washington Redskins getting a win, a blowout win against a NFC East divisional foe, handling family business the way that they did, that is absolutely priceless. Can't put a price on it. Winning cures all. I just sat on this program not a month ago. 3 weeks ago, I sat right here in front of you, declared the season over, had a rant about how things needed to change and what things needed to happen and how I was tired of this guy and tired of that guy. 1 week off, you come back, you get a win. Now I'm singing a different tune. That's what we do as fans. We're so fickle. Now look, all the things that I ranted about, they're not going to go away. I still feel the same way I felt then, now. The only difference is I'm talking to you after a win. Something we haven't had in over a month. So that's the difference. That's the only reason I'm not sitting here and complaining to you. It's because we won. And that's what winning does. The best smelling deodorant ever. Win. Everything else goes away. All the distractions, all the questions, they go away when you win. That's what we were able to do. The one thing I took away from this game, if nothing else, we will not finish last in the NFC East this year. We won't be in the cellar for the first time in a long time. Seems like forever. Seems like we're always the bottom feeders in the NFC East. We will not be that way this year. I can assure you of that. Barring any kind of catastrophic injury, we won't finish last. Because the Eagles are terrible. With a capital T. They are terrible. They are a train wreck. With another capital T. They are a train wreck. And that thing is going in the wrong direction. That thing is totally going in the wrong direction. And that's good to see. I'm not going to cry and shed a tear for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm glad. If it's one fan base that deserves to have this thing go up in flames and just an absolute train wreck, flames, it's explosions everywhere, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Because they feel like they're entitled to something. They always feel like they're the best. You're the only team in the NFC East that doesn't have a Super Bowl championship. Why don't you take a seat and shut up? No one wants to hear from you. You don't have any hardware to be able to talk about anything. But yet you have the loudest mouth of anyone. You do the most yapping, yet you have no rings on your fingers to show anything. No Lombardi trophies sitting in your facilities. But yet you do the most yapping. So I don't feel bad for the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Eagles. In the hierarchy of hate, for me, as a Redskins fan, it goes Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. And it sucks that when the Giants win the Super Bowl, it's like I'm indifferent. I don't care. Because I don't hate the Giants as much as I hate the Eagles and the Cowboys. Don't ask me why. I guess the Giants have never really pissed me off. Just not flat out just come out and piss me off. Haven't done it. But the Eagles do it every year. The Cowboys, we know the hate and the disdain for the Cowboys, where that stems from. It'll never go away. That's always going to be there. So we're not going to finish last. I took that away from the game, if nothing else. You can't take away that we're a good team. You can't take away that the defense is better. You can't take away any of those things from the game. Because it was the Eagles. They're a mess right now. And you can't buy what you saw on Sunday because small sample size. And I need to see the Redskins do something they haven't done all year. Before I can start talking crazy, using the P word, I won't use it. I won't use it. You shouldn't be using it either. But before I can start talking reckless and using the P word, I need the Redskins to do something that we haven't been able to do all season long. That's win 2 games in a row. We haven't been able to win more than 1 game. We win a game, then we lose a game. We win a game, then we lose a game. Then we win a game, then we lose 3 straight. So I need to see the Redskins actually do something that they haven't done all season. Win more than 1 game consecutively. Till they do that, I'll just remain happy about the victory and continue to move on. But let's get into the game, talk about how the Redskins were able to shellac the Eagles at home. A rare home win for the Redskins nonetheless. A rare blowout win for the Redskins. But let's talk about how this came to be. So the Redskins did something to start off this game that you know I'm very fond of. They got the ball after halftime, which means they kicked the ball off to start the game. Now, this wasn't their doing. This was the genius Andy Reid's doing. You know, a lot of teams are starting to buy into the notion that I don't need the football first to prove a point. I'd much rather have it after halftime when I've had a half to see what's going on. You could be up 17-3. You could be down 17-3. Either way, having the ball after halftime is beneficial. Getting it at the beginning of the game, not so much. Because you can go 3 and out, or as the Eagles did in this case, have a turnover and really set the tone for the football game in the wrong way, not the way you were looking to do it. Or you could score a touchdown, have the other team score a touchdown, and it'd be 7-7, and you're right where you started off the game at anyway. Back to square one. So it really doesn't matter what you do with the ball at the beginning of the game. Now look, all these things could occur after halftime, granted. But the situations are always different after halftime. At the beginning of the game, you start out 0-0. At halftime and after halftime, you don't know what the score is going to be. You don't know what the situation is going to be. You could have momentum going into halftime. You could be trailing, but have momentum. The score could be 17-10, but you just scored on your last 2 possessions. You get the football again, the game could be tied because you got the ball after halftime. Look, I don't need to go into this again. We've done this so many times on this program. Let's just get into the game. So the Redskins have a great defensive start to the game. And this is what the Redskins need to do if they want to win moving forward. You have to find ways to get pressure on the quarterback. We got to manufacture pressure. We know we can't just line up and beat guys one-on-one. We're not good enough to do that. Watching that 49ers game on Monday drove that point home even more, and it makes it that much harder to watch the Redskins go one-on-one with guys and not get any pressure. Seeing an animal like Aldon Smith, or even on Thursday, looking across the field and seeing a monster like DeMarcus Ware and knowing we don't have anything that resembles anything close to that. However, Jim Haslett must have realized over the bye week. And look, before I even get into the defense and the way they play, I hope you know, if you're a Redskins fan watching again, I hope you know you need to chalk that up to the Eagles. Everything we did on defense was because of the Eagles. Everything that Jim Haslett did was predicated on the fact that he was playing a porous Eagles offensive line that couldn't block anybody. Me, you, and 2 of your buddies could probably go get pressure on that Eagles offensive line. A rookie quarterback that, when pressure comes from different angles, is a deer caught in headlights. He freezes up or he makes an errant throw. And so you had to know going into the game that because of those 2 issues that the Eagles were having on offense, Jim Haslett was going to throw the kitchen sink at him. And that's what he did. First play of the game, D'Angelo Hall comes off the corner. When's the last time we seen a corner blitz? This season. Hell, I'd have to go back to maybe Tampa Bay in week 4, maybe. It's been a while since we've seen a corner blitz. And that let me know right off the top what this game was going to look like, what we were going to do from a defensive standpoint. We were coming after this Philadelphia Eagles offense. mainly Nicholas Foles. We were going to cause havoc. So it was good to see D'Angelo get pressure on that first play, have that play amount to nothing, stop the run. That was another issue. Don't allow LaShawn McCoy to take pressure off of Nicholas Foles. Make him beat us. Stop him. 3rd and long. Force him into an errant throw. And look, Brent Selleck should have caught that pass. Good defense by London Fletcher to flash. Nothing's worse than having a guy flash his hands right in front of your face as you're going to catch the ball. That little bit of distraction is enough to make you drop a pass. A lot of people don't realize that. I played receiver in high school. No, I'm not a guy that's a professional and have a PhD on catching the football. But I can tell you firsthand, with experience, a guy flashing his hand right before you're about to catch the ball makes all the difference in you having the ball here and the ball ending up here. You closing your hands too soon and having the ball bounce right off your hands. Carry them in the air like it did, having D'Angelo Hall pick it off. Big play in the game. Set the tone for the game that, look, we're going to try to make plays. And what was even bigger was the return because it put us in a prime position to score points. If he gets that pick and falls right there at the 27 or 29-yard line, wherever he was, he falls right there, we still have to go 30 yards to score. With the way the offense has been playing of late, that might just amount to a field goal. But by him returning this, down to the 9 or the 7-yard line like he did, it put us in a prime position to score points. And Robert Griffin III in the red zone is a dangerous thing. So we go with the pistol look and boom, we hit DY in the flats, touchdown, we go up 7-0. I love DY. I love when we use him. I love when we get him the ball out of the backfield. I love the play call there. I love the execution of the play. Everything was flawless, and the result was a 7-0 lead for the Redskins as we jump on this Eagles team early. Now, I wrote down in my notes something that I alluded to a little bit earlier in this video about the fact that we were blitzing like crazy. We were blitz crazed in this game. We looked a lot like the Redskins that blitzed all the time when Jim Haslett first got here. Well, we blitzed out of control and in situations when we didn't need to blitz. And I put down in my notes, Redskins are acting up with the blitzes on defense. And the reason I said that is because you know what the Eagles are going to try to do. They're one of the best screen teams in the league. Nicholas Foles is at quarterback. What's the one way to decrease the amount of pressure on him, get the ball out of his hands, and settle him down? A simple screen to Shady McCoy. You knew it was coming. And so when you get them in 2nd and 20, why are you blitzing? That's been our problem. It's not the fact that we blitz. It's when we blitz. It's how often we blitz. Jim Haslett doesn't have a problem drawing them up. We don't have a problem executing them. My problem is we go overboard with our blitzes. It's okay to blitz. Now you got them where you want them. If you blitz on 1st down and you guess right, they do play action fake, you hit home, now it's 2nd and 21, you don't need to blitz again all out on 2nd down. You don't need to blitz again on 3rd down because you got them where you want them now. They're in 2nd and 20. If you force a hold on 2nd down because you blitzed and they had to hold and they couldn't protect and it's 2nd and 20, you don't need to come with an all-out blitz again. You don't need to beat the horse. It's already dead. Okay? Now what you need to do is play soft coverage. Give them 7 yards. Now it's 3rd and 13. That's still a tough pickup in the National Football League. And if you want to come then, fine, come then. But don't come on 2nd and 20 when a simple screen will get them 27 yards, which is what we did, which is what made me write down in my notes, Redskins are being blitz crazed. It's okay, though, because we were playing the Eagles. But if you're playing a better team, trust me, us blitzing out of control like that will get us in trouble. We've seen it before. We saw it 2 years ago against the Texans, had them in 3rd and 24, 3rd and forever. They throw a screen to Arian Foster. He scores a touchdown. It changes the whole complexion of the game. We saw it against Dallas, 3rd and 21. Who can forget 3rd and 21? All-out blitz when we didn't need it. Romo was banged up. They hadn't been able to go down the field all game long. Why did you need to sell out and blitz and give Romo the opportunity to have one-on-one coverage on the outside? But that's in the past. All I'm saying is we don't need to blitz over the top. We just need to be more sound in when we call our blitzes. It's okay to blitz. It's okay to be aggressive, but make sure you don't overdo it. And so blitzing in this game made it apparent that we trust Brandon Merriweather back there. I thought that was another reason why we were able to blitz, is because we felt comfortable having Brandon Merriweather in the secondary. And it showed. I mean, we blitzed. They throw a pass out to the flats. And if that's, I love Reed Dowdy. Bless his heart. If that's Reed Dowdy, Dijon Gomes, or Madu Williams, maybe that guy breaks the tackle. And with us blitzing 7 on the play, it's going to be a lot of green real estate in front of him. But instead, Brandon Merriweather comes, and he tackles him right where he catches the football. It was nowhere for him to go. He swallowed him up. And you saw the impact of Brandon Merriweather right away. He dislodged a ball from an Eagles receiver, Clay Harbor, tries to catch a pass over the middle. Boom! Ball comes out, incomplete pass. Brandon Merriweather was felt early in this game. And then to make matters even much worse, he picks off a pass. And the reason why I say worse is because we know later on what happened. We'll speak about that later on in the show, but you could see the Redskins having a level of comfort with Brandon Merriweather in that secondary. And what could have been. As a Redskin fan, you got a little bit of excitement seeing what this secondary could possibly look like with Brandon Merriweather back there. And man, was it taken from us quick. But let's continue on. Merriweather gets the interception on Foles as we put pressure on him on another third down situation. Force an errant throw, get the interception, get a little bit of a return, and the Redskins are in business, already leading 7-0 in this football game. So we get the football back, and you know how I feel about running these pitches and these option plays to the short side of the field. We are in 3rd and 1, and I don't like the play call. I don't mind the option. I don't mind the little pitch toss that we do. Do it to the wide side of the field where there's space. Okay, I know your left side is your strong side, and that's where you like to run the football. But there's no space over there. Why are you trying to force something in a direction where there's nowhere to go? And the Eagles just strung it out. And at that point, the sideline is your friend. String it out as long as you can. He can't run out of bounds. And we had to punt. I mean, that drive right there after the interception, to me, epitomizes where this Redskins offense is right now. And we're not where we need to be. You get a turnover like that, change of momentum, you flip the field, you need to do something with it. And that's why I said on that first interception, it was key that D'Angelo Hall get a return on that interception. Because our offense isn't where it needs to be right now. Just because we scored 31 points in this game doesn't mean the offense had a good game. Okay? Our offense was anemic in this game. If not for Robert Griffin III, look, we'll get to that a little bit. We'll talk about that later. Just know that 3rd and 1 call I wasn't in favor of because of the direction that they ran. And look, I don't like running pitches on 3rd and 1. How about we just go north and south? The Darrell Young fullback handoff has worked great for us this year. Why not do that? If it's not broke, why are you trying to fix it? It doesn't need to be screwed any tighter. No need to get the screwdriver and try to screw it in tight. It's already tight enough. If the Darrell Young fullback run is working on 3rd and 1, 3rd and inches, 4th and 1, 4th and inches, why not go back to it? Make someone stop it. So we had to punt. Eagles get the football back. And again, Jim Haslett is going crazy with the blitzes. I can't blame him, but you can see that this can be detrimental to the team if he doesn't calm it down after hitting home. Okay, you get to him, or they get a holding, or someone jumps false start because of the threat of a blitz, and now they're in 1st and 15, 1st and 20, 2nd and 15, 2nd and 20. You've gotten your job accomplished. No need to go overboard with the blitzes. And the Eagles just kept throwing screens, and they were working. And it got them all the way down the field, and they end up getting a field goal range, and they kick a field goal, cut our lead to 7-3. So we get the football back, and there's a couple of possessions there where you're just like, we're not getting it done on offense. You can see that we're going to have trouble blocking this Eagles front 7. We're not running the football as effectively as we've come to know and love. And so that was an issue early in this game. You could see those tackles were struggling with that wide 9 approach. And what was even more alarming is that the tackles were struggling, but they were getting pressure up the middle as well. And so I was a little concerned because, as we know, Robert tends to hold on to the ball sometimes a little longer, trying to make a play sometimes, and he gets sacked because of it. We saw it in the Carolina game. Him trying to hold on to the football to make a play. Line wasn't holding up. He took sacks. You know, when he can escape, he does. And in this game, he did. And it saved us several times. And so we got stagnant on offense. And again, it wasn't a good day for the offense. Okay, Robert Griffin III made plays. And so that was the highlight of the day, was him making plays. But this offense as a whole wasn't good. And we got into a lull there where the score was 7-3 for a while. And then we got that big play. And the Redskins run the little double reverse action. You know, you get Brandon Banks coming in motion one way, and we fake it to him, and we fake it to someone else. And you got options on both sides of the field out in the flats. Kind of gives the defense something to look at, freezes everyone. You know, and of late, you know, when we do things like that, we're looking to exploit the middle of the field. We're looking to go to the tight end. And so I think that's what the Eagles were thinking. Hey, they're going to try to hit something quick over the middle of the field. And it backfired. Because I'm pretty sure Nnamdi Asomugha was supposed to have help. He wasn't supposed to just turn that receiver loose to no one. Pretty sure he thought he had inside help. Didn't have it. Aldrick Robinson gets free in the end zone. And at this point, I'm just like, Aldrick, don't drop the football. He catches it. Touchdown. Deep bomb. And that play, along with the other deep shot that we took Santana Moss later in the game, those plays really displayed the strength that Robert Griffin III has in his right arm. Because these are throws that he just reached back and he just let them go. Put a lot of air under the ball to give his receivers time to get under the football. And so he really cut these ones loose. And Aldrick Robinson catches it. We go up 14-3. And now you feel good about what this game can mean, what we can do moving forward if we can build on this. When's the last time we had an 11-point lead on any team this season? So, at home nonetheless. So, you're feeling good about where this game can go. But we got a lot of work to do. Offense isn't playing well yet. Defense is playing really good, but we're giving up screens. That's something that we need to correct. So, get back on defense. And I'm a little perturbed because we get the Eagles right where we want them in 3rd and long. And we can't get off the field. We cannot get off the field. It's 3rd and 17. And we give up about 21 yards. That is so frustrating on so many different levels. And I've talked about this many times this season because this isn't the first time that we've done this. We've given up 3rd and longs on many occasions this year. I think back to the Bengals game. They were in 3rd and long all day in that game. So were the Atlanta Falcons. And we continuously give up 3rd and long situations over and over and over again. And it's the same thing, whether it's a missed tackle, busted coverage, or guys are just getting beat one-on-one. Whatever it is, we have to stop giving up 3rd and long. You work so hard to put yourself in a position to get off the field on 3rd down. You got to execute on 3rd down. 3rd down is your money down. If you're not going to execute on any other down, make it 3rd down. You know, that's the one down you want to play your best football if you're on defense. Hell, if you're on offense too. You want to play your best football on 3rd down, and we don't seem to do that. So we allowed them to pick that 1st down up, and that was frustrating. It really was. But we don't give up anything on that drive. We force a punt. We don't do anything with the football ourselves. We have to punt right before the half. A little disappointing. I wanted to see us do something before the half. But we punt. Eagles are just looking to run the clock out with Shady McCoy. And he fumbles the football, something that we haven't really done this season well. Forced fumbles. We've gotten turnovers, most of them via the air. Here we're forcing a fumble, and we actually recover it. Now we're in business, and we have timeouts at our disposal. Let's get 7. Let's put them away. That's what I was screaming at the TV. Let's put these clowns away is what I was screaming, to be exact. What do? We look terrible on first down, scares the hell out of Mike Shanahan, to the point that he decides to run on second down and kick the field goal. Can't say that I blame him. We looked terrible on that first down play. It almost looked like a disaster waiting to happen. And so that influenced his decision so much that he decided a simple handoff was good enough to kick a field goal and go to halftime up 17-3. And that's what he elected to do. Can't say that I agree with the decision, but I can't disagree with it that much either because that first play looked so bad. So we go up 17-3 at halftime, and you feel good about it, but you feel like you dominated this game and you're only up 14. And so even though 14 is still 2 scores, we're the Redskins. We don't blow anyone out. We don't know how to hold on to leads, so 14 isn't that much. And this is a divisional matchup. It's family business. You don't expect the Eagles to just go away, do you? No, you don't. So 17-3 lead isn't that much. But we get the ball after halftime. That's encouraging. I like the fact that we've been scoring. Maybe not on every possession. Maybe it hasn't been a lengthy drive the way you would like to see us put together a 10-play, 81-yard drive and get in the end zone. Haven't done one of those. But yet we're scoring points, and that's all that matters. So maybe this drive after halftime can kickstart the offense and we can start scoring points. No. We get the football, and we do absolutely nothing with it in that first. Actually, we went backwards on that first drive in the second half. We looked anemic on offense after halftime to start the third quarter. We looked terrible on offense. I mean, it was penalty, sack. I mean, you can't start a half any worse than the Redskins did in the second half. I mean, penalty, sack. Does anyone get more procedure penalties than the Redskins in the National Football League? I watched every game in the league this year thus far. Does any team in the National Football League get more procedure penalties? And what I mean by that is, before the ball's even snapped, does anyone get more penalties before the ball is snapped? Whether it be illegal shift, illegal formation, false start. Does anyone get more of those penalties? Offsides. I mean, Ryan Kerrigan jumps offsides more than anyone on our team. Do we get more of those than anyone else? I believe we do. Does anyone else do it more than us? I mean, we self-destruct before the ball is snapped more than anyone else. We are not a disciplined team. And these are the simple things. Covering up the tackle on the end of the line. It's not hard. You've been doing it since you played Pop Warner. Since you played rec league football. You got to cover up the tackle. How often have we had touchdowns called back because we can't cover up the tackle? Or because we got 2 guys moving and no one's setting. One guy didn't set for 1 second and we snapped the football. Come on. Stop shooting yourself in the foot. We're not a good enough football team to do that. So that first drive was pathetic. We put ourselves in a bad position. Eagles get the football in prime position and they get a field goal. And all of a sudden you start feeling uneasy. Even though it's a field goal, Redskins did a good job of keeping them out of the end zone. You still feel uneasy because now the lead is 17-6. For the way you have played in this game and dominated, especially defensively against this anemic Philadelphia Eagles offense, you're only up 11. You look at it, that's a 2-score game. So you don't feel really good about where we're at right now, and the offense isn't looking good. They're not giving you a reason to feel encouraged that we can score more points. You know, of late, we haven't scored more than 17 points. So we scored 12 against the Steelers. We scored 17 the following week. We come back and we scored 13 against the Panthers. We went back into this shell of not scoring points, and so you had to feel uneasy at the fact that we were at 17, but we didn't drive and earn those points. Those points were basically given to us. You know, the D'Angelo Hall interception put us in prime position to score, and then Aldrick Robinson catches that bomb, but that was a busted coverage, and so they handed us some points. Were we going to be able to put together a drive and score? Didn't look like it starting out the second half. We really didn't look good. And in the sequence between us scoring our next touchdown, Brandon Merriweather goes down with a knee injury. And I wrote down in my notes, Brandon Merriweather. No! And the reason I write that down, I said we were going to address it. The reason why I waited to today to do my Redskins report is because I wanted to figure out what the status of Brandon Merriweather was going to be when coming and addressing you, because he's big moving forward. I mean, the confidence that he gave us on defense is priceless. As a fan, just him being on the field made you feel comfortable, more comfortable about the Redskins' prospects of being a competent defense. Looking at the play on the field, you saw his presence being felt. And I think the rest of the team on defense felt good about him being in the secondary, and I think they fed off of his energy as well. And so, him going down and finding out that it's a torn ACL, man, how deflating is that? I mean, going into this Cowboys game, you felt good about the defense. You said, look, it was the Eagles, and it's a small sample size, but if we can get Brandon Merriweather to play like that, get the defense to be somewhat of a force, get back to the way we were early in the season where we were forcing turnovers. Look, when we force turnovers, we're a different ball club. In all of our wins this season, we force turnovers. In all of our losses, we haven't. It's really simple. When we force turnovers, we're a good football team. When we don't, we're not. And so, Brandon Merriweather, we see he has a nose for the football. And he's going to make things happen. And whether he's dislodging a player from the opposing team from the football, or he's picking it off or forcing a fumble himself, you felt good about his presence in that secondary and what it could mean moving forward for the Redskins. We didn't even get to enjoy him for a full game. That's the sad part about this. He gave us a taste, much like Pierre Garçon. He gave us a little taste. Tastes great. Can I have more? No, it's all gone. He gave us a little taste, and then he's gone. Now we're back to the same old Dijon Gomes, Reed Doughty, and Madu Williams. We're back in the same rut that we were in before the bye week. And so now, all that confidence that you felt going into this Dallas game, it's been deflated. If you're like myself, you have no confidence in this defense. But what I will say is, no matter what, no matter who's back there, we have to do the same thing we did against the Eagles. We got to blitz. We have to manufacture pressure. We can't sit back and let teams dictate to us what's going to occur. If they beat us blitzing, so what? They're going to beat us either way. Might as well be with us coming after the quarterback. Maybe we get pressure and force them into a mistake, get our hands on the ball, make them make an errant throw. You don't know what's going to happen. But we got to try. Because just standing back there, dropping back 7, rushing 4, rushing 5, not getting to the quarterback, allowing them to pick us apart, it's not working. You see that. Teams are having their way with us. So we got to come after them. And I like Perry Riley blitzing. I love London Fletcher blitzing. I love, corners coming from different angles. I love it. Let's keep it going. It has to happen for us to have success. So Merriweather goes down, and I'm thinking, oh, no. And I'm not just thinking, oh, no, for, the wide spectrum of the season outlook. I'm thinking about it in context of this game. We're not out of the woods yet. It's 17-6. We're not doing anything on offense. The Eagles are killing us in the screen game. They're one Deshaun Jackson bomb away from cutting this to a 3 or 4 point game. No, I'm not comfortable. I'm saying, oh no, because I'm worried about the prospects of this game. Not just the rest of the season, this game as well. So, the Eagles don't do anything on offense for a few possessions. We don't. And then we finally hit the bomb. And look, that was an ugly possession. Robert is in trouble constantly. He's getting out of harm's way with his legs. How many times did he break tackles in the pocket, get free, and run and use his legs to pick up a first down in this game? I mean, if not for his athletic ability, his uncanny athletic ability, who knows what the outcome of this game is? How many times did he save us with his legs? I mean, I could count at least 3 where he gets out of the pocket, stiff arms someone, has a guy drooping all over him, finds a way to get out of it and runs and scrambles and picks up some positive yardage, whether it be a first down or just 4 on 2nd and 9. I mean, his presence back there was so vital for this victory for the Redskins. And as we all know, it's vital for the Redskins as a franchise moving forward. I mean, he was great in this game. And, just looking at the 14 of 15 for 200 yards, 4 touchdown numbers, which is a perfect passer rating, just looking at that, he had a spectacular game, but it's the way he did it in the context of how it occurred is what really makes it special. And so he throws the ball up to Santana Moss on a 3rd down play that looked doomed from the start. I mean, he's running around, scrambling, trying to buy time. Offensive line did a pretty good job on this play of giving him an area to scramble around and have a pocket for which to work. And so he buys just enough time to launch it about 60 yards in the air. And I'm looking at it, and I don't like the odds. It's 2 Eagles, 1 Redskin. And that 1 Redskin, oh, by the way, it's not Josh Morgan. And you know how I hate us throwing Leonard Hankerson down there? Well, it's not him. It's Santana Moss, the smallest Redskin receiver that we have other than Brandon Banks. If you want to categorize him as a receiver, it's Santana Moss. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a pick. But it was 3rd down anyway. I saw a flag. I assumed it was holding. So I said it's like a punt anyway. Who cares? Santana Moss makes a play on the ball, snatches it out of the air, and I said, how pathetic are those 2 Eagle defenders to let a 5'8" receiver go up, make a play on the football, come down with it, break a tackle, get the ball in the end zone. How pathetic was that? But I said it doesn't count anyway. It's holding. It's coming back. So I didn't even get excited when it first happened. Then I see the referees talking, and then I hear the mic come on prematurely, and I hear him say, hands to the face on the defense, and my eyes light up. What? That's a touchdown. Now I get excited. Now I realize, hey, we got this game right where we want it now. Because the Eagles haven't shown me the ability with Nicholas Foles at the quarterback position to score points. I don't think they're going to be able to put points up against our defense today. The way they're playing with that offensive line, the way it's constructed, they can't score points. 24 is more than enough to win this game. And so at that point, I knew we're in the driver's seat now. And that was a heck of a play by Robert Griffin III. It gave him his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. And I said, look, man, if you can give receivers a chance in this league, a lot of times you have nothing to lose because a lot of times the referees err on the side of the receiver. You just throw it up like the Cowboys did in the Browns game. Sheldon Brown gets pass interference late in that game, leads to that game-time field goal. Just throw it up. Half the time you'll get pass interference. The other half, it'll either be caught or it'll be incomplete. Give your receiver a chance to make a play. And that's what Robert Griffin III did in that instance. The Tanner man went up and got it. And the Redskins take a commanding 24-6 lead in this football game. What a play by Santana Moss. I mean, to think the last time we saw him, he was leaving the field with a concussion to bounce back. And if you look at Santana Moss's numbers this year, they are staggering. I mean, you don't see Santana Moss throughout the game that often. But when you do see him, you see him in a capacity where he's making an impact on the game. Look how many touchdown receptions Santana Moss has this year. You'd be amazed at what you find. Santana Moss is getting it done for the Redskins this year. And to think, they were trying to run him out of town with Eddie Royal this year. If they would have got their hands on Eddie Royal, that was the beginning of the end of Santana Moss in Washington, D.C. And so, kudos for Santana Moss for making that play and helping contribute to this Redskins offense this year as we try to turn this season around and give ourselves a chance moving forward. So the Redskins take this 24-6 lead, and really after that, the game was never in doubt. I mean, this defense was dominating this porous Eagles offense. They really had nothing to show. They really didn't have any more fight left in them, did the Eagles. After the 2 long bombs, it was done. It was a foregone conclusion that the Redskins were going to win this game. And so we really just basically put the clamps down on them, got the ball back, and then we started to see the run game take shape. And that's when you knew the Eagles had basically quit. Because throughout the whole game, the run game for the most part hadn't been working. And on that final possession when we actually tried to score, the run game was gashing them. And I don't think it was because they were exhausted or, we were starting to get them in the run game. I just thought they quit. The lead had grown to 24-6. They knew they couldn't win the game. And I think guys had just resigned at the fact that this game was done. And so we started getting holes for Alfred Morris. Robert was running the ball effectively. We ran it basically all the way down the field, and then we capped it off with a Logan Paulson touchdown reception. Robert's 4th of the day in terms of touchdown passes, and that was it. At that point, I was ready to see him not return to the game. I'm speaking of Robert Griffin III. I was ready to see him not return because at this point, we're up 31-6 with about 7 minutes to go in this game. Eagles haven't done anything. Defense is playing pretty solid. If they would need a miracle to come back and win this game, I say you pull Robert. With the way he plays the game, no need to have him out there in a late game situation when we're up 25 to put himself at risk because he only knows one way to play the game. And I can respect that. You know, this football game that we love, you can only play it at one speed. When you start trying to go at half speed and try to bog it down, that's when people get hurt. So you have to play it at one speed and one speed only. And that's all Robert Griffin III knows. And so if he has an opportunity to run, what do you think he's going to do? Fall down? No, he's going to tuck it and run and do what he does best. And at the end of the run, maybe he doesn't get down in time enough. Maybe he tries to slide and still gets clobbered and gets another concussion. Anything can happen. No need to chance it. Take him out. And I thought that's what we should have done, but we didn't. Again, I'm not here to second guess any of the decisions Mike Shanahan makes. All I'm saying is that in a situation like that, with a dual threat quarterback that had 12 carries on the day, why chance it? Sit him down. No need. He's already proven what he can do. He has a perfect passer rating on the day. Has thrown 4 touchdown passes. Only 1 incompletion out of 15 attempts. What more is there to prove? You've already rushed for over 70 yards. Have a seat. Pat him on the head. Tell him have a seat. Your work here is done. Good job. Job well done. That's what should have transpired in this game. It didn't. Again, I'm not here to second guess. He didn't get hurt, so I'm just making mention of the fact that I didn't think he should have been out there. But we move on. Redskins secure this victory, win this one going away. It was good to not have to be at the edge of my seat at the end of this game. It was good to be able to turn my focus away from the Skins game, even though it was still on the big screen, and focus it on the Cowboys. Watch them struggle a little bit with the Cleveland Browns. Wasn't that nice to not have to be the team struggling at 4:07 on Sunday afternoon, but let it be another team you watch struggle and try to get by with the win? Isn't that nice? Isn't it refreshing to know, oh, our game's well in hand. Let me focus my attention over here on these Cowboys who are struggling with the Cleveland Browns. Isn't that nice to be able to do? And not have to worry about, man, are we going to be able to get this stop on 4th down to seal up this victory? Are we going to be able to get down the field and get in field goal range to extend this game or win it in regulation? Isn't it nice to not be that team on the ropes, but for once be blowing someone out to the point where you know this game's over, we've won already? I mean, this game was decided well into the 4th quarter. So there was no doubt. We already knew we have this one. The Eagles are a mess. We don't have to worry about them making a furious comeback and making this a close game. They stink right now. Wasn't that nice? Yeah, it was. I can't lie. I have to admit that that felt great on Sunday. And coming off of that bye, I needed that. I needed to be refreshed because I admitted on Facebook, on my Facebook page, that I miss my boys. You know, I talk about how they made me so angry, you know, a couple weeks back before the bye week losing to Carolina, and how I needed a break from them. You know, I just wanted them out of my sight for a week. Give me, just like the players needed a chance to recharge their battery, I needed a chance to recharge my Redskin fandom. I just needed to take a step back and just get away from the Redskins for a week. You know, not submerge myself in Redskins talk and what's wrong with the team and why we're not winning and why we're not doing this and why I just left it alone. I just let it breathe. And then to come back, and I missed them. And it was funny because earlier in the season I was talking to a buddy of mine and I was telling him, hey, when the Redskins go on their bye week, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Because Redskins football was must-see TV at the time. It was exciting every week. Even when we lost, it was exciting and compelling football. Even when we lost to the Rams, that was a fun game to watch. You know, even in defeat, even when we lost to the Giants, that was a fun game to watch. It was good theater watching the Redskins play. Even though losing is never acceptable, it was okay because it was fun for the first time to watch a Redskins game. It wasn't 13-16. It wasn't 17-20. It was 24-27. It was 27-30. It was 30-33. Redskins were scoring points. So it made it watchable. And I don't mind a defensive struggle, but your offense doesn't need to be anemic to be involved in a struggle. If it's just good defense, I can appreciate that. I don't appreciate, however, bad offense. And that's what the Redskins have been doing for the last 7 years. Bad offense. So, to see us scoring points, now this defense was another issue, but it was still fun football. But the last 3 weeks wasn't fun football. We weren't scoring points. We looked like a shell of ourselves earlier from the beginning of the season where we were scoring points. It wasn't fun to watch this Redskins team anymore. It had become a task. I have to watch this, even though it's not good football right now. And so it really felt good to be able to say, yeah, that was fun again. And I miss my boys. They were back, and they came back in a big way, and it was good to see. Now, that wraps the game up. Redskins get it done, 31-6 over the Philadelphia Eagles, who now dropped to 4-6 on the season. Meanwhile, the Washington Redskins moved to 4-6 on the season, leapfrogged these Eagles out of the cellar of the NFC East, being that they won their one head-to-head matchup thus far. The Redskins go to third place in the NFC East, and all of a sudden, this game against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving means something. Asked me that same question 2 weeks ago. Who gives a damn about the game on Thanksgiving? Of course, it's the Cowboys. You want to win. You need bragging rights. But who gives a damn? That game means nothing. We're not going anywhere. I don't care. I don't want to talk about the game against the Cowboys right now. I'm upset. Now you ask me about that game, and my eyes light up because that game means something. I have my dad and the rest of my family coming over on Thanksgiving. My dad and my sister are huge Cowboy fans. And I get to sit down and watch the game, watch Robert Griffin III destroy their defense. Now, are we going to win the game? That's for another show. That's for another time. That's for another segment. I don't know the answer to that right now. No Brandon Merriweather makes me feel a little bit uneasy about making that selection. However, let's not veer away from the point. The point is this game means something now. We beat the Cowboys. We dragged them down to 5-6, elevate ourselves to 5-6. Guess what? We're now in second place in the division because we have the head-to-head matchup win over them, even though our records are the same. And so we have a chance in a span of 2 weeks to go from last to second in this division. And if the chips fall where they may and line up for us, we could be in first place by the end of next week. That's getting ahead of ourselves, though. That's getting way ahead of ourselves. This Cowboy game means something now, and that's what you should be concerned about. This game that 3 weeks ago looked like it was just going to be a ho-hum matchup between two teams that are division rivals and a rivalry renewed, but it wasn't going to mean anything. All of a sudden now, this game has relevance. This game means something. The Cowboys win this game, they're breathing down the necks of the Giants. We win this game, and our Monday night matchup could potentially be for first place in the NFC East. Of course, all of these things depend on a Giants loss to the Green Bay Packers, but we can't control what anyone else does. All we can control is what the Redskins do. And what the Redskins need to do is find a way to go to Dallas and win. The last 3 matchups against the Cowboys, we had every single opportunity to win, and we found a way to lose. We need to get it done. If you remember back 3 games ago against the Cowboys, that was the one that Rex Grossman started in Dallas, where he just went nuts. And the Redskins hadn't scored over 20 points and it seemed like an eternity. He comes in, lights it up, and we scored 30 in that game. Of course, the defense gives up 33 and we lose. But we had chances to win that game. If you remember, Santana Moss had a big drop in that game. It happens. You look at the next matchup between us and the Cowboys, one that saw us, and of course, if you remember back that season where Rex Grossman started, that was the Donovan McNabb season where we won that matchup against the Cowboys. On Sunday Night Football with the holding penalty by Alex Barron at the end of the game that nullified the Roy Williams touchdown pass and ended the game with a penalty. Redskins win. D'Angelo Hall had that fumble recovery. So, we go back in the archives a little bit. Redskins won, 4 games ago. We haven't beat the Cowboys in 3 straight games. They beat us the Rex Grossman game that I just spoke about. The first game of the next season was the 3rd and 21 fiasco. We all remember that. Redskins had the Cowboys on the ropes. We started the season off 2-0. Head to Dallas for a big Monday night matchup. Have the Cowboys on the ropes. Romo is hurting. Okay? Romo is hurting. He hurt his ribs against the 49ers the previous week. Guys, they just had signed Lamont Robinson. Guys didn't know where the hell to line up. Romo was telling everybody where to go. We had an opportunity to beat them. 3rd and 21. We send the house. We don't get there. One-on-one coverage. Des Bryant against D'Angelo Hall. You know the rest of the story. But we lose that game. Then they come to Washington. We have them on the ropes. We should win this game instead. But we all know the infamous Tony Romo rolls out, finds Jason Witten over the middle of the field, throws it to him, and he takes off and runs past the rest of our defense. The slowest tight end in the league, Jason Witten, catches a football and run past the rest of our defense as if we're standing still. Probably one of the most deflating moments of that season. To watch Jason Witten, who couldn't outrun Mike Shanahan in a race, outrun our whole defense. But, that's what happens when we play the Cowboys. We find ways to lose. Let's find a way to win on Thursday. Let's get a win. This is a big one. No Brandon Merriweather hurts. And I can't state that enough, how much confidence he gave to the defense, how much confidence he gave to the players, how much confidence he gave to the coaches, how much confidence he gave to us fans. We just felt better by his presence being in the defensive secondary. Man, did it feel good to see him out there running around. And now he's gone. So now we have to find a way to get it done. We'll see. I'm not going to shoot down our victory. It was a good win, but it was the Eagles. They are a mess right now. This Dallas Cowboys team is going to be a better test for us, because if we can't get it done against the Cowboys, then we are who we thought we were. If we beat this Cowboys team, maybe there's something left in the tank for the 2012 Washington Redskins team. Maybe. We'll see. But this is a big one. We got to have it. You drop this one, you go to 4-7, it's over. It's done. Officially, it's over. It may not be official in the way of mathematics, but 9-7, 10-6 is going to win this division. 8-8 won't cut it. And if we already, at this juncture of the season, have 7 losses, if we lose to the Cowboys, you have to know we're a team that hasn't won 2 games in a row this season if we don't beat the Cowboys. How can you expect us to win 4 straight, 5 straight, to make this thing a reality, making it to the P word? I won't use it yet. So, we'll see. We will see. But that's going to do it for me on this edition of the Redskins Report. I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold, as you see here. My Redskins spirit will never die. My Redskins spirit will never fold. And as always, hail to the Redskins. Have a good one. I'll come at you soon with a preview to the Redskins game on Thursday. Enjoy this win. Erase it from the memory bank, because we got a big one coming up on Thursday. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.
The Red Redskins Report.